This is a important tropical update. This is May 1997 here. It is currently August 24th, 2011, 8:32 p.m. Central Time, and this is a special tropical weather outlook for the Atlantic Ocean. This is on the approaching Hurricane Irene, which is very large, very dangerous, and we're going to take several minutes here to explain what's going on, what Irene's going to do, how strong is it going to get, stuff like that. So currently, this is advisory number 18A. We're at advisory number 18A. It says, eye of dangerous hurricane Irene moving between Rum Cay and Long Island in the Bahamas. The maximum sustained winds are now at 120 miles per hour. It has now turned to the northwest, still moving at a steady pace of 12 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure has fallen to 954 millibars, which is fairly strong, which is actually pretty low, which is why Irene is so large and so very strong. That is Category 3 hurricane. Additional strengthening is still expected, in fact. And it could become a Category 4 hurricane as it approaches Florida. However, you people in Florida, you don't have too much to worry about. The threat from Irene will be limited to the southern part of Florida and near the coastline and just offshore. That will be the most concern for Irene. For Florida, the threat will be relatively low, so no worries. Irene won't be too big of a problem for Florida. Just stay away from the beaches and watch out for flooding, as Irene could cause quite a bit of that as it approaches. Alright, what we are going to watch is what is it going to do in the future. So first, we're going to look at what's going on right now. It is currently centered right over in the central part of the Bahamas Islands. And yes, the center is passing right over it, so there's lots of damage going on. It's hitting it very hard. So, people in the Bahamas probably are evacuated. As you can see, the wind field of this storm is very, very large. In fact, it almost got Cuba. The eastern fringes of Cuba almost got hit with tropical storm conditions. Further progression of tropical storm conditions will occur as it moves to the northwest, and eventually hurricane conditions should overspread the remainder of this hurricane warning for this northern part of the Bahamas by tomorrow. As you can see, it has a long, long wind history. Look how large this is. This is a very, very large storm. And it could, in fact, even get even larger. The wind field could expand even more and affect a wider swath of land. So that's Irene for you. Yes, it's really dangerous, and it's continuing to do considerable damage, and it will continue to do so as it continues to track the next several days. So, we're going to go ahead, maximum wind probability table. I always take a look at this and watch this closely. By early tomorrow morning, 125 miles per hour. Thursday afternoon, 135, which that is Category 4 force. Through Friday morning, still 135. Then dropping to 125 by Friday afternoon. And then by Saturday morning, it will crash onshore to North Carolina, the eastern seaboard of North Carolina, as a Category 3 hurricane with winds probably around 150 miles per hour, maybe more, maybe less. We're not exactly sure how strong Irene will really become, so we're going to have to watch that closely, and you should watch that too. It could become a Category 4, and you just never know what it's going to do, so we're watching this very, very closely. So, Irene has a very large danger zone. I'll show you its danger zone. Come on! Let's go! Very large danger zone. Anywhere in this area, you need to stay away. Basically. Alright. So, where's this thing headed? Here's its track. This is the latest. This is from advisory number 18. And will be updated. As you can see, it's going to briefly go this northwest like it's going for the next several hours. Then make its turn northward. And as you can see, it's going to turn north well before it gets to Florida. And then it continues northward. It starts to turn a little northeastward. And then here it hits North Carolina right there, the eastern part of it. And then it'll continue that northeastward pattern, cut across the New England area, make landfall probably around Connecticut by early Sunday as a Category 2 hurricane. And this means New York City, you're going to be affected. So you watch out. Here is the probability of tropical storm force winds. This means at least tropical storm force winds. Huge area. Huge area. I made my own maps. This first one I made myself. This is the shaded area. The danger zone was what you would call it. This is the danger zone for Hurricane Irene through this weekend. It will expand, but through this weekend, this is our danger zone for Irene. So if you live in this danger zone, you might want to get out of there as soon as you can, because Irene is very dangerous. My second one will discuss, it shows the uncertainty track. Okay, there we go. Alright. Zoom out, or go down. Here I marked the approximate center of Irene as of now. And here's its possible scenarios. This is the yellow one is this is where Irene would go farther northwest and farther north than the current track. This is where it would go north longer and make a farther cut into North Carolina. That is still possible, and then it would curve out that way. This is where it's more favorable, is the red line that I marked. It'll make a quick turn to the north, and then start to curve northeastward, and then just get the eastern seaboard of the Carolinas, and then make a direct cut through New England. The blue one, this is quite unlikely. This is only if it was going northward right now. If it was going northward right now, it would completely miss the United States entirely. Well, except for the fringes of Maine, which by then it'll probably be very weak or gone. So, those were the potential tracks. It's favoring anywhere in this yellow and red line. Anywhere in between there is where it's more favorable. Anywhere in between there. So, anyone living in that danger zone that I showed you, you need to stay tuned to those forecasts. Irene is a very dangerous hurricane, very strong, and it's going to get stronger. So you need to prepare now if you live in that area that could be affected. And you can listen to the later forecasts. If they issue a hurricane warning, you've got to get out of there, because Irene's going to cause a lot of damage, a lot of flooding whenever it hits. It could be very devastating. So stay tuned to the forecast. I'll have daily updates for Irene. And before we go, I have one other area to mention. This area could become our next named storm, which is Jose. So we're going to watch this one too. See you guys later.